Allocation 1. Hello. It's a social welfare study channel, Social Welfare Insight. This time and next time, we're going to find out about assignments. If you search for allocation in the Korean dictionary, sharing your share. That's what it says. In social welfare, allocation must be done well to become a successful policy. It doesn't have to be said that allocation is important. Allocation is a value based on the dimension of choice, which is universalism and selectivism. Universalism is that all members can be eligible for social benefits. By providing a wide range of salaries, the program is more expensive. It emphasizes the benefits of gaining popularity. In fact, compared to the selectivism in which only a few people get the tax. If the benefits go to most people, people's interest is bound to grow. Also, since all members are eligible for welfare benefits, there is no distinction between the giver and the receiver, so human dignity can be protected. In other words, eliminating the stigma effect is another advantage. Selectivism is that you have to concentrate your salary on the person who needs it the most. The most representative advantage is the reduction of costs, because it has to be paid to the person who needs it the most. When deciding on a target group, you should limit your qualifications and decide in detail. Since the criteria for determining the qualifications for application are ambiguous, they mainly prefer asset testing. As a result, a small number of recipients are concentrated in their salaries. Economically, you can get more benefits than universalism. Stigma can be a problem. Now we're going to look at the types of conditions that are the basis for allocation. Conditions of residence. Residential conditions are the most basic of determining qualifications. You could be living in a particular country or a particular area. In some cases, qualifications may be determined only by whether you live or not. In some cases, additional requirements must be met for the residence requirements. In some cases, it is restricted to permanent residency or citizenship for a certain period of residence. That's why short-term residents, like travelers, are not eligible for pay. Usually, housing requirements often require other requirements. Demographic conditions. In social welfare policies, qualifications are often granted only when demographic requirements are met. For example, age is old age pension, child allowance, etc. Family allowances based on the number of families, and spouse allowances based on marital status. Demographic conditions are less cumbersome than asset testing. It's a selection method where the recipient feels less constrained. Reward for contribution. Compensation for contributions is an economic contribution in the form of payment of insurance premiums, or it's about being eligible on the premise of contributing to society. On the premise of economic contribution, you make contributions according to your personal ability. It refers to receiving the same supply and demand according to personal needs. National pension, health insurance, employment insurance, industrial accident insurance, etc. The premise of contribution to social development refers to the selection of recipients based on contributions or sacrifices to society or the country. It's about rewarding people who have contributed, like national merit and military police. This personal commitment to society. It's to encourage it to continue in the future. Workability. Workability is the most difficult requirement for determining eligibility. The criteria for the ability to work vary from country to country. Even in the same country, the standards change with the times. The eligibility for public assistance must meet the requirements for incompetence and assets. In other words, even if you do not have the ability to work, if you have a lot of assets, you are not eligible for benefits. It's a case where the ability to work and other conditions must be combined. Unemployment insurance, employment training programs, etc. There are cases where you need to have the ability to work to qualify. Expert diagnostic judgment. In some cases, each function depends on the diagnostic judgment of an expert. To be identified as disabled and receive social welfare policy program benefits, you need to be diagnosed as disabled by a specialist in that field. Where it is difficult to determine the objective criteria necessary for selecting recipients, you rely on expert judgment. Income, asset status. It is most often used as a criterion for judging qualifications individually. It's implemented in almost every country in the public assistance program. The income and property level of eligibility are determined in two forms. The level of eligibility is sufficient to meet the minimum basic needs. There's a traditional way of preference to decide absolutely, considering the standard of living enjoyed by the majority of members of society. There's a way to make a relative decision. Next time, we will have time to find out about allocation following this time. Thanks for watching. Let's be together next time.